That's it. Leave her alone.
Listen to all episodes.
Yeah.
Rule number 2. It's the same yacht.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So happy I listened to that for the first time in the middle of the day.
We don't want those fans.
I mean, they may not have been theologically accurate on a lot of things, but yeah, the black lady and the white chick are angels.
Welcome to the non-insipid podcast in the world. Insipid means having no flavor. If you look at us, we have so much flavor. We have a white dude. We have
That's me.
a character. We have a Samoan and a Filipino. You have all the spices in the world.
I just fill the role of a character.
If the shoe fits.
It's true. So insipid is no flavor. We have flavor.
Well, we can ask that. Do you have something that you would like to be called? Looking like that? Other than a character?
VTuber. It's
It's a trap.
Very wise.
yeah. My name is AJ.
Waka.
Jay.
Ace.
Welcome. We almost. Oh, we did it! That was like the.
Yes.
Yeah, we did it. We did. You might be wondering, to all the people that's been watching us, including Casey, you might be wondering, why do they have an episode? There's no We're Alive episode. You were right. There's no We're Alive episode. We just want to do. We
miss you guys.
To be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? And I'm talking to you guys and you watching this podcast. We just want to hang out. We haven't been hanging out in a while since the last podcast. We have busy life. Ace over here lives somewhere else in the character world where he lives in.
Undisclosed location.
Yeah, exactly. And Jay's been busy. We've just been busy. Waka and I live together, so it's like we see each other all the time and we work together. But we haven't had a chance to hang out. So it's like, you know what? Let's shoot a podcast. Let's talk about We're Alive. Let's go back and talk about Scout's Honor.
Yeah.
We really didn't have a chance to like dive in to that last episode because we did it live. You know, the reaction is great, and Casey loved our reaction. That's what live does to you. But
thank you, by the way, for the shout out
I know.
during your live.
Yeah, their live was awesome. That was fun.
Stream,
Yeah,
Casey.
yeah.
That was very honoring. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Even the kid, I cannot pronounce your last name, but the kid who played Zach, he's like Chinese. Oh no, it was the kid who played what's his name?
Frankie?
No. The other dude, the older one.
Blaine?
Blaine,
Blaine.
yeah. He's trying to think. It's like, yeah, what is that? Captain? Is it Captain Bug? is it Captain Bug? Yeah, it is Captain Bug.
I didn't think it was Blaine who did that.
It was Blaine.
Oh,
it was
okay.
the kid who played Blaine. I mix up like Zach's character and Blaine, but you can like really tell when they started talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was I think it was Zach.
It was Zach because
was
Blaine
Zach.
was in the lower left-hand corner with the
Yeah,
shaggy
yeah,
hair and
yeah,
everything. Yeah, Zach
Yeah.
was in the upper right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Either way, thanks for the love and thanks for the shout out. So yeah, we just want to talk about that last episode. Did you guys have any chance? Did you had any chance to listen to our last episode? Our live?
Oh, ours? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. It's been a bit. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah.
I think I
know.
listened to the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
week when I thought we were going to do one the
Right.
following week, a
Right.
podcast.
I know.
And then we kept pushing it back later. It's like, I completely forgot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But, yeah, maybe.
How about we listen to ours live?
It keeps going like
Reaction,
that's what
reaction,
I know, that's what we're gonna for the rest of our life. We're just gonna keep doing
Reaction.
reactions.
We need more content, people.
Right.
Give us a year. Suddenly, we'll just do a 24-hour video.
That's all we're doing. So I also want to mention some of the theories that I've seen on the Facebook group, which are really interesting. How about we start with that? Do you guys have anything you want to add first before I have some theories that I've read, and it's been interesting.
Of how they will play out in Descendants.
No, not just that, but just Scout's Honor, specifically what happened to the last episode. The big one is what happened to Blaine. What's your guys' theory about what happened to Blaine?
I think he's gone.
I think
Yeah.
we both believe that because of that theory,
No
if you don't
body.
see a body,
Yeah,
he
not dead.
He's not completely dead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think he's gone.
Nobody, not dead.
He's just stuck.
Nobody not dead.
All right.
You know the theory that I read, and I was like, please let this theory happen, right? And it's not Buffalo Bill. I think we established that among the four of us. It's like this. There's no way this is a Buffalo Bill. It's another Will Smith. I Am Legend. Cause remember the dog, and he connected with the dog. What if, right? What if he went back to the place where he left the dog and became friends with him, and they stayed in the island. So just like I Am Legend, because in I Am Legend they got stuck in in New York, one of the islands in New York. Just them together.
All right.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
I know.
Yeah, to have them back. Yeah,
And it ended just like I Am Legend.
and then they'll actually do the.
Yeah, killing the dog. Yeah, well, in this case,
No.
well, in this case, they don't turn.
We
so.
already lost Shock, okay?
Yeah, I don't want to lose
I
this
actually
one.
just listened to the episode today where they meet Jacques.
Yeah, all right.
And I'm just
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
oh.
so did I.
Yeah.
Jacques. I love Jacques. He's the real MVP, man.
Jacques Bisson.
Yeah,
Jacques
Jacques
Bisson,
Bisson.
You named the dog, not Pippin, Pierre. Yeah, you
Pierre.
named the dog Pierre. Pierre.
They didn't really give him a name, was it? I think what did they call him?
No. It's the service dog.
They gave him a nickname though, but rather than just call him Dog.
Right.
I forgot what it was called.
The another theory that I read about Blaine about being gone is when they were counting down, when the kids were counting down, the in between from 2 to 1 is really long, and that one bullet is his bullet. He used it
On
used it
himself.
to him, on
Yeah, I
himself.
think that was.
Yeah.
I think that was assumed. That's what I thought.
Really?
I
Listening
said
to the
that's
pod?
biggest. I think that's the biggest assumption,
Yeah.
point there.
Yeah. I didn't get that. I didn't get that vibe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I feel like knowing Blaine, I don't even know. When I say knowing Blaine, as if like I know him, you know what I mean?
We're old
Yeah.
buddies. We grew up together.
I know. But knowing the character of Blaine based on, I don't think he would do that. I don't know. I feel like he would like fight
Well-
instead of give up.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things. Like you'd hope so, but he was also at a point to where he's like, buy as much time as possible, and I don't want to suffer, blah blah blah. So that's why most people would assume that.
Yeah, because he didn't want to turn and then attack any of his friends.
Exactly. It's one of those things of he's still protecting people by taking that shot. But it's such a big like trope in a lot of survival-esque shows and stuff like that where they'll do the delayed gunshot as the last shot, like where they take themselves out. But I feel like, it very strongly could be a misdirection.
Yeah. I think I'm just glad because when we were listening to that, when I re-listened to that episode, the movie that popped in my head that I was like, I'm glad that this didn't happen in this series is, have you guys seen the movie The Mist?
The
Yes.
movie, The Mist.
That has the worst ending.
I know,
that
it's
ending
horrible.
was terrible.
Excuse me, I don't remember it.
So basically, it's the dad, and they were in the car, and in the story of The Mist is when you're in this mist, the aliens will attack you and you get
Yeah.
killed and things like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
So they can hear a noise coming from a distance, but they can't see it. So the dad started shooting everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has the shotgun, and it ran out of ammo. Come to find out, it was the military.
Yeah, so they were driving out in the streets,
Yeah.
ran out of gas, and then rather than being killed by those monsters, they all decided to shoot themselves, and the last person was the one to do it. Mm-hmm. And the worst part was, he had to shoot his own son. And
Yeah.
by the time the mist was cleared,
Oh yeah.
It was
he
dead.
realized the military was clearing out the mist, and he was just
It's awful.
Out of his mind.
That ending was awful.
out of
It
his
was
mind.
awful.
He's like,
Ridiculous.
I
if
know.
they just waited a little bit longer, they would all been saved.
Yeah, it was. So I'm glad that that's not how it went, because I could see it being like that. Like there's no hope. We're stuck here.
Yeah.
Our plan didn't work out, so let's start killing each other.
If I had to
For
have a,
food.
And then you hear the helicopter from distance. Zach, my boy, I'm here to save you.
they just barbecued Zach over rotisserie. And they're
I was
like,
waiting for it.
oh,
Honestly, for so
shoot.
long, I was waiting for that moment.
The helicopter?
no,
Yeah.
eating someone.
Oh no, he said the helicopter.
you said you were waiting for the helicopter because you were hoping that the dad would redeem himself, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
I think I remember.
Yeah,
Very much so.
very,
He did
very
not.
much.
He didn't, of course.
So I since I started at the beginning again today, I heard the spot where they drop him off, and like by the time we get to the part where they go to the house and you meet the parents again, through video. I forgot all about it, but at the very beginning when they dropped him off, like his mom is obsessed with wine the entire time, doesn't care about him again,
Right.
and she's like basically yelling at Pilar.
Pilar.
Like, hey, where's the wine? Like, did we bring this wine? Hey, how about this wine? And then Pilar is like, Zachy, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? Like gives him a hug and like lovey and stuff like that. Like, you pass right over it in the very first episode because you don't think it has any context. But coming up to the end and then hearing that again, I was
really
like,
mattered.
oh my gosh, that was setting it up.
Gives you a bigger impact.
Yeah.
Well, because the parallel between the two of them too, how the mom cares about the wine and Pilar cares about him, and it's just the contrast between what's the word they use? Juxtaposition. The juxtaposition between the two of them.
Yeah.
But
so
that's good. Okay, so I told Waka this. Before I mention that, Casey, I was talking to Casey about. I like straight up ask him. We don't usually do that. We don't ask him about, hey, is this theory right? Right? We never do that. We wait for the next episode, or we wait for him to tell us. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna man up. I'm gonna ask him because I just want to know his parents about the whole theory that they are in Descendants. He told me that they were in Descendants, but they were just cameo. It was during the same episode where there's a girl who came up to Victor, and that wasn't the mom, but both of them were in the bar. Like you can hear their voice in the background.
They must have been far back there.
So the dad in Descendants is a different person that's playing in Scout's Honor. So they had
a
to
different voice actor.
Yeah, so they had to reshoot the voice for this dad, so it's the same. Yeah. So it's canon.
Consistent.
But he did also confirm that at least one of the kids is going to reprise their role in Descendants.
Yeah.
At least one. He didn't say if it was more than that.
Yeah.
He just said at least one, or one,
said,
maybe more, I think is what he said.
Right. Should we talk about that? Should we talk about the kids? 3 kids?
We can.
Yeah.
3 kids? I mean...
4 kids.
4 kids?
We're assuming Blaine isn't there.
Oh, yeah. We already talked about Blaine. Talking about the 3 kids in the yacht. Oh, he confirmed that is the same yacht. Like 100%
Yes, he did.
complete
It is the
confirmation.
same yacht.
And he even's like, why are you guys even arguing? Like, it's so clear. It's the same yacht. There's no ifs, what, or whatever.
Because there was no name on it.
Yeah. No, but he said, it's like, I described the flag, I described the color of the boat. It's the same yacht. Yeah. That's how I could picture Casey explaining that.
Speaking of which, on that last episode, his comment when he basically yelled at us because we were still hoping for Delilah, he's like, she's not coming back. Stop.
Yeah. He said, she did the commercial. That's it. Leave her alone.
Which I'm curious what he was talking about. The commercial?
Yeah. Well, the way we listen, there's no commercial in what we're listening. But if you listen on Spotify, in between, there's commercials. So she did a voice to one of the commercials. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what he said.
Nice.
But yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. Let's talk about the 3 kids. But before that, I'm sorry. Scorpions. They were talking about scorpions were referenced in Gold Rush. There's scorpions in Gold Rush. And they're assuming that these scorpions zombies are the same scorpions in Scout's Honor. Which
the tribe? Because it's a tribe of...
No, the kids. You're thinking about Descendants.
Oh.
I'm talking about Gold Rush.
I didn't... Well, that's what I'm saying. Was it still a tribe in that? Or what was it? I don't remember it in Gold Rush.
It was too early to be tribes at that point.
Yeah.
This was still the age of ink.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were talking about that might be, or that could be the kids.
I mean,
the remainder of...
I believe it because remember in the main story that they swam to the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be.
Yeah, but do you think that was just the remainder of some of the scorpions? Because I feel like all of the scorpions died in the pile of cactus. And
I wouldn't say all
Dragon's
of them.
Breath.
A lot did, but...
Yeah.
They might have. I mean, I don't
the
know.
Scorpions specifically, yeah, never mind. Yeah.
They were all gone in that.
I felt like all of those ones
All
died,
of them are gone, yeah. And if...
the only one that didn't die to the trap was
Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, if it is the same Scorpions, or like some of the remainder of Scorpions, that means one of the kids, if not all of the kids, the remainder, Zach, Ruby, and Frankie, are involved in the current, We're Alive, at least in Gold Rush, up until Gold Rush, because they will be the only one that knows the Scorpions. Nobody else would know the Scorpions,
Unless they had some kind of like scorpion badge or anything.
Oh, yeah,
them,
yeah,
which
yeah,
There
yeah.
shouldn't have been. There shouldn't have been.
Yeah, because they only have the flag.
The defining characteristic on them was
the banner, the flag. Yeah. That's
The
about it.
uniform and all that. Yeah.
But yeah.
So I don't think there's any connection. I don't think it's the same.
I don't
the
think
same
so either.
kids. Yeah.
I don't think it's.
It would be hard to actually have a way to fight for that being a staple.
Yes.
With the information we have now, at least.
Right. Yeah. Now with the kids, if it was confirmed that at least one of the kids will be in the new one, Descendants, which kid do you guys think it will be?
I want to hear Ruby again.
Zach.
18 years later.
Zach. Oh, Zach is highly probable for sure. I think Frankie and Ruby rode off, be together.
off into the sunset.
They pulled the puck. They pulled the puck.
Again.
They pulled the puck.
Yeah. I got a girl. I'm out.
So
I
I would like. Go ahead.
Good.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I would like it to be Frankie,
Yeah.
Yes.
but I feel like it might be Zach. However, if there's more than one, then I feel like it would be Frankie and Ruby,
Oh, okay.
because that would be a
very
nice
similar
closure to their story. Although, could be all three of them.
Yeah. I could see being all three of them.
I could definitely see it being all three of them, and those two being together, and Zach kind of being a part of the cult,
Yeah.
or having started the cult.
Most likely, I think Zach will be it because we're hearing his parents here and they're playing a role in Descendants.
Right.
So very likely he might come
Because
around.
I still hold on to the belief that Casey wouldn't write a series in the middle of another series without connecting it to the current series we're listening to. You know what I mean?
I mean, he confirmed that they're going to reprise the role.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, towards
He
the end of
did.
that.
So at least one of them is going to be.
Did you see the reactions of the kids? Like, oh, especially the current kids that they're still alive. They're like, oh, it's like I still have a job.
You're right.
Yeah. Because Carmen, you dead.
Carmen's gone.
You
So
did.
I got to be honest.
You might not be
So,
reprising Carmen.
yeah.
watching that live video of them, I felt guilty for some of the things I said because I was like, I don't like Carmen. Like, her voice is annoying. And then, like, I saw the video and I'm like, I feel really bad because now there's a face to the voice in the name.
Yeah. Good news is they haven't listened to our podcast. It's only Zach and
They might have now.
right. Yeah. Well, because Casey talked about, it's like you go to that one section of their faces when they thought Frankie was dead. Just listen to that part. It was amazing. It was amazing.
It was.
Yeah.
It was such a throw off.
Yeah.
It was
Especially for you guys, because I didn't hear it at first. I'm like, what happened? What did he say? And then you guys,
Walker and I were like,
I know.
Yeah, we're always like, is this it?
No, it didn't register in my head until it's like, because I didn't. He kind of like said it really fast, and I was in that moment. It's like, crap, this kid is dead. And then he said it's too fast. I'm like, and then you guys already react. It's like, wait, what happened? What did he say? What?
What just happened?
I know. And then when I re-listened to it, it's like, oh yes, that was good.
Oh, man.
So what was your theory about either one of them or three of them?
So I have a very similar sentiment to Jay here.
Yeah.
Because I think that if it's going to be a single one, I think Zach is the most likely.
Yes.
And like you said, like being like a part of the cult or something like that. Like someone that's going to have some pretty serious role. I don't think it would be as simple as just a cameo. But then I would like to see the others. I would like to see Ruby and Franklin learn more about them, because we learned a lot about Zach.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we learned his family and everything.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
there's not too many questions that we can be like, well, this all is still unknown for
You're
him.
right.
We don't
Like,
know anything
we
about
have-
Ruby.
Yeah,
all
we
of
have
them.
all the answers about Zach.
We don't know any except for Zach. Zach is the only one that has lore in the whole story. Frankie,
the only other person that has, I think the person who has the second most lore is actually like Blaine.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Blaine because of Chase and
Which isn't a lot, but
his
like
brother's name?
we know that he
Pierce.
comes from a more poor family.
Yeah.
And stuff
Trailer
like
park.
that. And
the time with Zach.
with Franklin, we know that his parents got divorced. And
Yeah, and the
his-
mom. You know, he mentioned about the mom multiple times.
Yeah, but we don't know much about
No,
her.
not at all.
No.
And
We
Ruby
just know
mentioned about
she's a mom.
yeah, and Ruby has the aunt. You know, who named her
Yeah.
Ruby. That's about it. So Zach has the most lore in the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we know that like Zach Blaine like spent time at Zach's family's house and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And so it's like outside of hearing like from Frankie that oh yeah, I know how to tie this knot. I've been fishing.
Yeah.
Like that's not lore. That's just like oh, you've had a summer as a kid like
Right.
at a pond.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what that is.
yeah. And he might. I mean, with Frankie, he's the only one that we know. Oh no, we know Ruby's last name.
Ruby, right.
Yeah.
Ruby.
And,
Yeah.
and we've heard
Middle
that
name.
his middle name is a family name.
Yeah, a dumb.
Well, we know
family.
it was a dumb. Wasn't it Luke or something like that?
No,
No, it was Lucy.
Lucy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lucille.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no,
Lucy
Lucy.
or
Just
something.
no, just Lucy. Because I
Was it just
listened to
Lucy?
that one part. We were listening to the podcast, and the way Ruby was so upset. It's like, "Are you okay? I'm Ruby. She's like, I'm Ruby." She was so mad. Yeah. But I would love to see. There was one theory that they like, kind of like having discussion who the leader of the tribe. And for a long time they believe it's Tanya, but now listening to Scout's Honor, they believe it's Zach. I believe it's Tanya. If most likely
Yeah.
between the two of them, it's gotta be Tanya over Zach.
Really?
Yeah, I
Why?
believe it's
Don't
Tanya
think
over Zach.
Zach is the leader of it, but I could very highly see him being a part of it because of his fascination with them.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
was literally second to Tanya.
Yes.
And he
With
did
And
make
his
a statement
fascination.
that the best way to learn more about them would be to study them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How old was
And
Lee in this one?
the only reason I will say that Tanya is more fascinated than he is because she knows she was immune. Mm-hmm. So she was able to be riskier.
Yeah.
As well as being riskier, she also took that time to dissect them and look internally.
Right.
Which, from what we've seen, he has not yet done.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed he's going to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the kids might be, you would say about what, 14 maybe?
12 to 14, somewhere
Yeah,
in
12
there.
to
I would say
You're
closer
talking
to
about
12.
like where they're at, like in
Like during Scout's Honor.
Honor.
Yeah.
They're I think like 12 and like 16.
I think
Really?
Blaine and Carmen, I think, were around 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were
But-
older teens.
Right. So I would say like Zach is probably like
Maybe
14,
15 even.
15, yeah. And then
Zach's
add
probably
18 to
14,
that.
15,
You know?
Okay, I can see likely why
Yeah,
Zach
he's
would
32.
be a leader.
Yeah. No, I still like
30, 32, somewhere in
Tanya has the most. Tanya has more, and it is probably because she's black, but she has the more like feature. Like she's gonna be a leader of a tribe.
I feel like she has more street credit of being a leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
there. Why has it got to be street card?
And now this podcast is banned. We
Okay,
got
she has
canceled.
more reputation
Yeah.
compared to what we know about
Yeah,
Zach. There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah, it's true. Well, she also has notes. You know.
Zach is very much a matter of fact person. He's like, these are the facts. This is how I'm going to lay them out. Tanya would be emotional with it. And
Yeah.
90% of the time, leader roles go to a more emotional person that also include the matter of a fact.
Yeah.
So she had that blend. I feel like Zach is a very good right hand. That's why between him and Blaine, he was the right hand because he was the one keeping the logic in it and keeping Blaine in check. But he doesn't have that emotion and that personality to be like, look at me to get instruction. Look at me to know what to do next.
Yeah.
I would also think that Tanya with being the leader is because her connection with Michael is a lot stronger. Second, right under, what's her name? The one that CJ. Yeah. Because Michael's the one that had the director's book, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
So it would make sense to me.
I feel like she would be more closer to Michael than CJ. You know?
Oh yeah, I feel like those two are probably the biggest non-relationship bond.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe second biggest. The only one bigger would be Riley and Bert. I think that might be the only one because they had their little revenge pact.
Yeah, Michael and Tanya go way back for sure. Yeah, they go way back.
Yeah, that's why I would think Tanya. Go ahead.
Like almost like from the beginning, like they clash, but they bonded well before Saul came into the picture, and they bonded even more once he had that extra like, oh, you're already one of us.
Yeah. Right?
And kind of became his mom unintentionally. Like, she was the one smacking the crap out of him, being like, hey, get your crap together, boy.
Right.
Like,
I still love that Casey hasn't confirmed. I know for sure he has seen it. Like, people, because we even talked about it, and people posting on Reddit, Discord, and Facebook mentioning that Tanya's still alive. Right, and you don't hear anything from Casey. He's like, I'm not gonna confirm this or deny
silence.
it. Yeah, well, because it's for content too. You know, the more people talk about this, whether she's already dead, and we just need to shut up, like what happened to Delilah. Like, just leave her alone. You know, she's already dead. She's gone.
That's the thing. That's the thing is until the story option is closed.
Yeah,
he's not gonna say anything.
Absolutely.
It's the most infuriating and beautiful part about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I want answers.
Right.
But you're not going to get them until the time's right.
Because all of the things that we laid out about Tanya being alive, you know, it still kind of makes sense. Like, she gotta be alive. She gotta be.
Yeah. There's enough reason in all of it to be like, you're not grasping at every straw, but you might be grasping at a little bit kind of things. Like, I'm not going to tell you you're right, but, you know, you might be wrong.
Right. So I would love to see the kids being alive, and still part of the descendants, and you know, playing out how it's gonna work with them, and seeing with Nick, because they're gonna be older than Nick, you know. A lot older than Nick.
But if
and the gang,
Ruby and Frankie did pull a puck, good for them.
Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, especially how much we talked about Ruby's gonna die. How many times? Almost every episode we talk about.
Happy.
Yeah, every episode we talk about. Right, Ruby's gonna die. Ruby's gonna die.
The whole time I'm like, you guys just all shut
yes.
up.
Yes. No, because it's, you know how many like red flags they've been saying. Like, especially that last episode, right? Last episode. I can name at least 2 or 3 of them. When that moment when she found out it's Lucy. And then Frankie said, well, don't say it to everybody. It's like, and then Ruby said, well, I'm going to say it, you know, once we get out. It's like, well, I hope we don't get out. You know, it's like, well, that's a red flag.
Yeah,
you just don't say that. And then the Starburst, which, by the way, they didn't end up still eating it. And that might be because, you know, Blaine is not there. But, you know, they promised that we're going to eat this once we get out. They never did.
Yeah.
I will say it's a little sad that, like, we don't have a second season or something to say to tell us what happened once they got back to the mainland.
Agree,
That would be, I mean, I know we're limited on, you know, what he's producing, but that'd be cool to throw out another mini series of, you know, just what happens when they got onto the mainland.
Well, because if that's the case, it won't be a Scout's Honor. Because I feel like if it has to be Scout's Honor season 2, I feel like it has to revolve around the island. So if anything, it would be Blaine. Like, if Blaine is alive,
well,
it wouldn't have to be Scout's Honor.
It's like Scout something else.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like Scout's Redemption or Scout's Journey, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Because I feel like if it's Scout's Honor, it has to revolve around the camp, and things like that. So it has to be a
or you
different
can you can call it Scout's Honor and then have another name to the end of it. That's.
Yeah, because if you look at the other series, right? If you look at the other series, the OG We're Alive is just in general. There's no scope of things that you are limited into. But Lockdown, it's the jail. That's it. And once he got out, you can't really talk about lockdown unless you talk about what Ink did to the rest of the people in jail. Same thing with Gold Rush, because it revolves around trying to get the gold. And then now you have Descendants. So if you want to make a season 2 of Scout's Honor, it has to stay in that scope of story.
But I feel like that would be because it still has to do with the scouts.
Yeah, but they're not at this point being out of the camp. They're not scouts. They're just regular kids that's in the city now.
Why are they no longer scouts?
Huh?
Why are they no longer scouts?
No, because when they're in the island, they were part of the camp.
Yes.
So
but
when-
it's
when-
not
when-
called
no, what I'm-
Camp Emerald Bay. It's Scouts Honor.
I know,
They're
but
always scouts.
they were in the Camp Emerald Bay base. They were called Scout because they're in Camp Emerald Bay.
No,
Does that make sense?
No, they weren't. They didn't only scout when they were at camp.
No. What I'm saying is, so let's say I go to.
So you're saying the moment that they leave, they stop?
Yeah,
being
they're just
scouts,
kids.
right?
They're just kids now. That happened to
See,
be a scout.
I disagree because, like, if you look at Boy Scouts are Boy Scouts all the time. They do stuff outside of camp.
But when you see them in a non-Boy Scouts attire, you would just think they're just regular kids.
Yes, but they still consider themselves Boy Scouts.
I get that. So it's like being a sound technician, right? You're a sound technician whether you are behind a sound booth or not. But when you're outside, people won't,
Right, I am.
people don't just call you, oh, you're a sound tech. No,
Well,
I'm Jay.
And that's why I think like having it, if they did another one, it would be Scouts Honor, Survival or something, something like that, or something. I don't know.
Maybe
that's
just
a really
one
bad
more
name,
chapter
but-
would have put us at peace of what happens next.
Yeah.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
least
I
fully
feel like
tied
that's,
it.
I feel like that's the biggest thing is that almost every series so far has had an after. We're Alive, the original story, it had a 16 years after, 15 years after. Yeah, 16
that's
years
right.
after.
That's right.
Um,
yeah. Gold Rush. Gold Rush
it
is already
had-
it's already
had a
happening.
little
Yeah.
bit of what happened after, but mostly because the story after is already done.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Lockdown, it had like a year later.
Yeah.
So everything has had that after. And so we're just missing that after that it's like,
Yeah, I just want to know if they met up with the Maulers, like, because where
Yeah.
they got off was like a half
you
mile
think-
from the Maulers.
If they were to fall into any of the factions of the three, I would have assumed they survived at CJ's before they got run over.
Yeah. I would think that they stayed just them.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, I can see
I
it.
think it
being-
would've
Because
been
it's
like
much
that for a
harder in the
while.
city.
I think it would have been like that for a while, where it would have been just
Agreed.
them, or they would have run into a couple, like another small faction that we don't know of.
Yeah.
Where it was like 10 people kind of thing. I feel like they would have been in a part of a small group.
Yeah.
But
But they will most likely run into all of them, like either
Yeah.
from Dunbar people.
Because here's the thing,
Original Tower.
if they went south when they landed, or something like that, then, or even just straight east, like they wouldn't have run into the Maulers or Dunbar.
Yeah.
Like they would have completely gone away from that stuff.
They,
Yeah, because Maulers were slightly north, I think, right? Northeast.
based on the map.
Maulers, the Tower, Dunbar, and everything. was
Yeah,
north.
but based on the map, they will be closer to the colony, right?
They would
Than the
yeah,
city?
So
Oh, and
they
there's
would
4
be
factions.
Yeah.
That's right.
on the.
Yeah.
I think they would be on the colony side of things.
Yes.
But they would be almost like in the middle.
Right.
So they
Yeah.
could have completely missed the colony because the colony might not have been built out that much yet. The colony might not have been the colony.
Oh,
Wasn't that the
Because you have
site?
to remember, this is like day 5 or day 6.
Yeah,
yeah,
didn't
it's a
they?
week.
This is 1 week into the
Yeah,
into
but
the
because in the
whole thing.
original We're Alive, it's months.
Oh, no, you're right. But the colony, didn't they just make the before they became the colony? It was this rendezvous site for escape,
Yeah.
and then they nobody
Like a
came back for them.
rescue
Yeah.
camp. Yeah.
For all we know, they could have been on that. They could have
Yeah.
gotten rescued.
I think.
Oh, that's true.
I believe. If you would ask me what happened to them, I think they kept going and they ended up in Vegas. And
That's a long trip.
like that. That's how I could imagine
But they have
them
18 years to
happening.
make that trip.
Yeah, they have 18 years. I don't think they stayed in LA.
Actually, I
Or
could believe that
California,
because
yeah.
the breakout happened
Actually, sorry,
there.
they have 19 years
Mm-hmm.
all about to make that trip.
Yeah.
Because this
yeah.
is actually probably closer to 19 years from the start of World.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
believe that.
almost a year goes by before they
Yeah.
start doing.
Because
the
this
time
is
jumps.
before this is before Saul and what's her name?
So
Lizzie. Yeah, being together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is before they met.
Yeah.
If-
No.
Literally,
No, they
this
met.
is
They have
probably
met.
this is
at
probably
this
this is
point.
probably just after they met. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. In the
This
tower.
is when she's still in mourning though,
Right. Yes. Yep.
because
Okay,
they
yeah.
did. That's right. They met on what would have been day 2
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
slash
much.
like night 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because they were tired when they're looking out, in the tower.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it will be 19 years. But I can see. What were you saying?
No, I kind of believe what you're saying. They're working their way there because the breakout happened so far in California before it spread it elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So them finding their way out to go to Vegas.
Yeah. Because they might have been one of the first people that it started. What is that place?
It starts with a P. I know it's a P.
P.
Yeah, right. Shoot, I'm not forgot. I forgot the name of the town that the board takes over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
All I can think of is Puck, but it's not Puck.
It's not Puck.
Yeah, it's not Puck.
For some reason, all I can think of is Pan Am, and I'm like, that's not
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
How's that?
Prim.
Prim. There
Prim.
it is.
Prim.
Yeah, Prim. So one of those areas. I can see that happening. There's another thing that I want to talk about. If you guys are willing to talk about this, what were you? First of all, where were you rank? Where would you rank Scout's Honor in all of We're Alive verse and
So
stories?
here, I want to take that question a step farther.
Okay.
Can we rank them all?
Oh, I can.
Instead of saying like, oh yeah, that's my third or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to know what your first, second, fourth, fifth are. Like,
Yeah. I feel like
let's see,
so to me it's We're
because we
Alive.
have 5, right?
Yeah. We're Alive OG is
Yeah.
my number one. But when that's and it's not just because that's where it started at all. It's just the story and it's longer. It's a longer setup. I love.
More time to get invested.
Yes, and this is the OG. You know what I mean. And the story is there. It developed there. And then I put Descendants next. And this is my ranking. I put Descendants next, and then close, like super close behind Descendants is Scout's Honor. And this is because I love that the kids is part of this. And then I put Lockdown, and then Gold Rush, in my ranking.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Lockdown too because the whole family, and it's just amazing. But that's where I rank it. OG We're Alive, Descendants, and then really close Scout's Honor, Lockdown, and then Gold Rush.
For me, I'll rank it 2 ways because one, I still remember how I felt in all of them. So first and foremost, the main story because I was introduced to what I thought was an audiobook, which is not an audiobook,
Yeah.
but it was amazing.
Not even close.
So main, second is Gold Rush because again, this is how I felt.
Yeah.
Third, it will be Descendants. No, Scout's Honor, Descendants, and then Lockdown.
Oh.
Now Lockdown, the reason why,
Interesting.
Lockdown because it wasn't what I expected, like the first one.
Yeah.
So I felt kind of bummed. But then,
that makes sense.
but now in terms of the storytelling,
Yeah.
okay, one will be how the story was portrayed, how it was told. It's phenomenal. Of course, OG, Scout's Honor, Descendants, Lockdown, and then Gold Rush.
Gotcha.
Mine would have to obviously OG, and then Descendants, Scout's Honor, Gold Rush, and then Lockdown.
Oh, okay.
So
it's
mine,
kinda the
mine
same,
just
but you
flips.
flip-
Yeah, I flipped the last two, just because I like the ideas behind Gold Rush and the bunker, the whole. I just like that environment better.
Yeah. Did you like the dynamics of the soldiers in the story over Lockdown? That's one of them too.
Maybe, I don't know. I just like the idea of the underground bunker aspect. I
Gotcha.
thought that was
That makes
really
sense.
really cool and intuitive, and and just fun.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
basically had this entire self-sustaining massive underground bunker that they were living in. It made me think of Fallout.
I say it's very
100%.
Fallout.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Right.
And so, and then lockdown, I just felt was kind of, understandably because of the entire scene for it, was at a prison. It just felt
Yeah.
very claustrophobic.
Gotcha.
So very confined.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of again the entire point of being in prison.
Yeah. It was jail.
Oh, jail.
Yeah. I feel you about the lockdown, because listening to the OG We're Alive and then you went with lockdown, I'm like, oh crap, what? But once you understood the whole thing, it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is important. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
very.
great.
I still believe Lockdown had the best ending ever.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
was very satisfied what
Yeah.
Jeremy did to what's his name?
Simeon?
Yeah, Simeon.
Yeah,
I was really
yeah,
happy.
Yeah. I'm curious about your ranking, Ace.
So for me, OG, I have a little bit of a different feeling on the OG. It hit a little bit harder for me because I was doing the week to week
Yes.
for
Right.
Yes.
a while.
Yep.
Which I feel like both built up some anticipation for me, and I got to live it prolonged as to where you guys got to binge it, so you
Yeah.
guys saw the story in a much
yeah.
quicker fashion.
Yeah. Right.
For better and worse.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel like you guys got to hit the emotions back to back to back. I was forced to simmer in some of it. So when Samantha died, I had to sit in that for a week, which was miserable. I was talking to my buddy at school about it, and I was just like, what do we do?
Yeah.
I hate this podcast so much.
See, Samantha
Like,
dying didn't hit me that hard.
Really?
No, Lizzie dying.
Oh yeah, you said that.
That one
you said
definitely
that.
hit.
Yeah. We all have. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Finish your rank. Sorry.
Yeah. For me, Lockdown hit it was my second favorite.
I figured that for sure.
I was say yeah, and I know
He's
that's not
obsessed
so much
with
of a
the
surprise
family. I was
gonna
because of
say,
my
yeah.
obsession
Family.
with the family. I love the whole secret
That's right.
secret
Yeah.
society and stuff like that. And getting some of that lore dropped in there, making them more cemented into the overall story and not just a We're Alive story.
Yeah.
Because if it would have been left with We're Alive, then going into Ascendance, the family could have just been cut out entirely. Because every part of the family that we knew was gone. Just looking at it straight from the We're Alive perspective, story of survival, the family's role was done. And then Lockdown said, no, it's not. So that was really big for me.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
And it was really cool getting to see more lore for how the behemoths were made and why they were made. And getting to see that stuff was really cool to me. I'm a lore junkie, so that built things in a completely new level. For me, I think it's going to be a toss-up right now between Scout's Honor and Descendants.
Gotcha.
Right now, I'm going to say Scout's Honor.
Yeah.
Because of
Yeah.
having that story completed. I'm very satisfied with how things went. The world building for the island was very good. It was very cool to track them. And
Yeah, that was
then
really
see-
cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Being
seeing
able to
the
do it.
progression
That was awesome.
of like a genius's mind tracking what took the other crew months to learn,
Right.
but not in an unrealistic way.
Yeah.
You got to see the wheels turn and not just hear them click.
Got it.
So we're like, oh, okay, like he's connecting this because, this person said this, and he's like, oh, that's right. It is kind of like that. And like, they kept calling him the encyclopedia and stuff like that. So it was really cool just seeing the wheels turn at a much quicker pace, knowing that it was going to be a shorter series.
Nice.
Ascendance, it still has a lot of things to prove to me. It still has a lot of room to grow.
Good thing we have 2 more seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why I have
So
to put
in
that
3
forth
years.
right now. It very well can change. Literally after this next season, it can change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as we get more into the lore and the
Build
bigger
up.
world building process of this, rather than, hey, we've been introduced to a new area, we're getting caught up to what's happened over the last 18 years. Well, really, like the last 10 years is more what the catch-up is. And
Ketchup.
like that's what season 1 mostly was. It was we were getting caught up with some extra information thrown in. But then for Gold Rush, it means more to me now than it did a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there were no connecting pieces. The story was resolved before it began.
Yes.
It just kind of went a little bit deeper into the in-between of season 3 and season 4 of Story Survival.
Yeah.
So I'm liking it more now, but because it was such a tight-knit story with no room to grow, that one kind of has to end in 5th because one has to end in
but
5th.
you also, because of Descendants, it made Gold Rush even more important because Gloria and Demon being in there, you know, and the bunker, of course, and what's his name? Muldoon's, is it Muldoon's son?
Yeah.
With
Alex
getting into the bunker and listening to his dad again. That whole thing was phenomenal, and it gives you if you didn't listen to Gold Rush and you only listen to Descendants, that would not make any impact. You will just think, oh, it is, he has a message from his dad. It's like, no, it's not just his dad. we've heard this whole thing, how it happened,
I thought it was a message from his mom.
And don't
Is
get
it
me
his
wrong,
mom?
it's not that
It was his mom.
I
His mom.
think it's like a bad
You're right, it's
story or pointless or anything like that. It is simply the fact of, I think that one to me had the lowest impact.
Yeah.
Because everything else had so much higher impact.
Right.
This one is getting into season 2 is where the impact of that's really going to start hitting more, I think, or has the chance to hit more.
Yeah.
Getting the small nudges towards Gold Rush over like the second half of season 1, amazing. Loved every second, loved every nudge, loved every hint, loved every Easter egg that like we caught on to and stuff. But where the stories were in the other stuff, it just has me a little more excited for that other stuff as of this moment.
Yeah. But we can all agree there's no worst season. There's no worst series.
We have a least favorite. There wasn't all
And
that.
It's not even a least favorite. It's just all of them are top tier. It's just the way we rank it. It's like this is the one my favorite.
And that's the thing, is we're just saying which one impacted us
the
least.
Yeah.
Not saying what one didn't impact, which one was bad,
right,
which one,
right. Which one? There's none. There's none.
It's like,
I mean, we
it's-
have a least
yes.
favorite episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
The
definitely.
one where Pegs get introduced.
And we're alive, not in Descendants. Because Descendants Pegs
She
is
stepped
a
up.
different Pegs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
up.
Oh, Mama Bear.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I got another question.
OG Pegs.
Yeah, I got another question before I go to my my whole rant. Which one, in Scout's honor, which one is your favorite non-main character? And when I say main character, I'm talking about the 5. Yeah, which one is your favorite non-main character?
I was gonna say Jacques, but I guess he's not in the 5.
He said
You
not
can
in the 5.
not in the 5,
not
so
in the
you
5.
can
Jacques.
say Jacques.
Yeah, Jacques.
Yeah.
Jacques.
Jacques.
I thought you
feel
said
like
that's
mine's
in
a
the
cop
5.
out, but I gotta go with Joe
Joe.
because he plays my favorite side character on both sides. He's one of my favorite infected that we've gotten to see,
Yeah.
and he's one of my favorite fodder characters.
Yeah, Joe.
Can I have one more?
Lucas.
Actually, yes.
Lucas.
I knew it.
Lucas.
I
I
knew
heard
someone
it.
was
I
gonna
heard
say it.
listened to it again this morning, and I'm like, why'd you have to die?
Yeah.
Like the way he was trying to mack on
Yeah.
Carmen right at the beginning. It's just like so great. He's like,
too,
I heard
man.
you weren't dating anyone.
Yeah.
Just so you know,
And
I'm
with
not either.
With his lisp. With his lisp.
Yeah.
And the way he died too is kind of tragic. Not kind of. It's
Yeah.
tragic.
And then they all felt bad because like if we just let him be in our
Yeah.
group, but
Yeah. And
yeah.
then Zach come in. It's like, well, I
I'm
guess it
happy
didn't matter
that
now.
they at least got the resolution to no, that wouldn't have changed.
Yes.
anything. I'm happy they at least got that.
Right.
well,
Yeah.
if he was with them and he
would've-
didn't go on the hike, then he would
Yeah.
be alive.
Yeah.
But he would have
He would have been alive or been
Been
with the other
Scorpions.
Scorpions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to turn to zombies because he has so much anime information in his head. All the comic books
They'll
that he's
have
been
half
reading.
of Japanese culture. Just
Yeah,
unlocked from
yeah,
watching
yeah.
too
It's
much.
The little
Strategizing.
otaku will just like
exactly. He will lead Chase. No, Chase is not leading him. He's leading Chase. Yeah. My favorite non-main character is the little girl. Listen, that little girl only has one small portion in the whole series, but oh my gosh, the feeling that I had when I heard that smile, that laugh, and the feeling that I had when they describe her swinging, it gave me different feelings.
I heard that again today, and I had to remind myself. I'm like, they did such an amazing job of depicting the most horrific little girl ever.
Awful.
By when she
man.
opens that door and you see her,
Yeah.
like it was just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I listened to that for the first time in the middle of the day.
I
swear, I was sitting at my desk listening to this at like 10, 11 p.m. when I was being my most productive self.
Oh, dude.
And I started hearing that in my headphones, cuffing my ears, blocking out sound. I would have been checking my shoulders for
No,
the
because
next hour.
so they had three sequences or instances with this little girl. The one in the swing, her laugh, right? Her giggles when she came in the store, and when she got stuck. The sound that she was making when she got it's just nightmare, complete nightmare.
Complete nightmare fuel.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the second come to closest Pierce. The Pierce character is like we know he's a good character because we hate him. You know.
See,
Exactly.
my second, I feel like everyone knows, Delilah.
Delilah didn't even have. Oh no, she had the voice.
She had a
That's
couple.
right.
She had a
had
couple
a
voices.
voice.
Yeah, that's right.
She had a commercial.
I don't know why, but not like non-main character. Then yeah, I'd be.
Yeah.
It would be her.
Yeah. Okay.
That's funny.
Let me go to my rant real quick. And this is I was gonna say this earlier. It's hard to do this because I feel like we gotten close to Casey, but we have to do this because this is like our job. And when I say our job, we're not getting paid for this, but this is our job having this conversation. Yeah, right. I know, right? Come on, YouTube. Come on, YouTube. But let's talk about some of the problems that we've noticed in Scout's Honor. The first one is, now that you mention it, it's Delilah, right? I feel a little disappointed that we didn't see Delilah. And this is not just because we've been talking about Delilah, but having that moment with Curtis, I feel like there's no close book with Curtis' story.
Yeah.
It didn't close.
That was a really big, open-ended part of the storyline that was never resolved.
Yeah, because he was watching all the videos, and then that's about it.
Yeah, she kept popping up.
Yeah.
And so you were kind of always hoping, like, oh, are they going to meet? Are they
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
is she alive? Is she good?
Always waiting for her actual appearance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like what you said, whether alive or dead, at least have that moments like, oh, this is where they stayed and she's right there, she's alive or she's dead and things like that. I feel like that wasn't a closed moment. And there's a lot of not a closed moment in closure. Like we didn't get closure in a lot of the moments here in Scout's Honor. So I didn't like that we didn't have Delilah moment. The next one is besides we kind of already talked about this, like what happened to the kids. Like there's nothing really clear what happened to the kids and Blaine. I don't know if they're gonna bring that up. We're gonna talk about it, but it's so far when he said that there's not gonna be any Scout's Honor, that means it's close.
Yeah.
So we don't know what happened to Blaine.
The only thing that we do know is that someone is going to be in the next one. And quite frankly, in Descendants, it might be Blaine.
Right. Yeah.
Doubtful, but it might be.
Yeah.
So we really don't know who's going to reprise their role. But yeah, it was a very big, cliffhanger for everything.
Right. Yeah. And then another thing is, I was actually super disappointed when I listened to this. And okay, I get it. I totally do. I get it for the story, but I hated that Frankie threw away his notes.
Yeah.
I hated that. I didn't like it. I did not like it.
The journey.
I felt kind of
journal.
cheated by that one.
Yeah.
Or the letters. It's the letters.
Like, okay, he had his own monologue and all that thing, like when he got rid of it. But it's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not like that. And it's because, you know, he's been saying, I'm going to give this to my mom. I'm going to give this to my mom. It's like, no, you're not going to give this to your mom. And we didn't even get to meet the mom. And now we don't have the journal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy
it would
that.
have been really cool if in that last episode, I mean, there was definitely some stuff that could have been cut out. And so we could have had seen like almost like a short, you know, 6 months later for each of them.
Right.
You know, Frankie going to his house or something like that, and you know, seeing his mom dead or something like that. You know, just something to resolve all of them, and it could have been not a montage. What is it?
Yeah. Well,
where they just do a quick little snippet of each thing.
You can't do what the movies are doing. You know, in the movies, like especially sports movies, when they end it, you see like one motion and then they stop and then you can see letters like
the text.
You know, the text is like, oh, he became a lawyer, you know, 4 years, and you can't do that with a podcast.
I mean, you kind of could have. Frankie could have.
Oh yeah,
could have
like a
verbalized
voiceover.
it. You know, we.
And transitioning from a young voice to an older voice.
Yeah.
If his mom was dead, they could have ended with like, "Dear mom, like we just went home and I found you." Like it's almost like a goodbye letter to his mom.
Yeah.
That would have been emotional. That
That
would have caused some tears probably. You know, and just have him like read it in such a sad voice. You know, a goodbye letter. But yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Ace? Did you like that about the journal being gone?
No, because like to me that's like the We're Alive thing.
Yeah, that's
and so it's really hard to be like, oh, well, the journal's gone.
Like how would they know now?
The thing that I personally always have looked to be the connecting piece to the entire story is gone. And I'm like, I felt a little empty without it suddenly, and I was like, I don't know how to take this or where to go with this.
Right.
Now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you put it in the standpoint of like, let's say these are real characters, right? Like they're real people, and we don't know nothing about We're Alive. The sentiment of that moment is great.
Yeah.
You know, it's the sentiment is great.
Of him throwing it away?
Yeah, the sentiment of that moment, like, because we are, at least for me, I'm disappointed because I know We're Alive. I've listened to OG We're Alive and that journal thing and the importance of that. But being frankly, like if I'm Frankie and I did that, I get the sentiment. I totally get it. You know, I understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. It's only hard, and I only don't like it because I have gone through, you know, a decade of We're Alive. And We're Alive, to me, when it comes to, from a storytelling standpoint, it's always been about the journals.
Yes.
How did they basically announce not Scout's Honor, Descendants? By ending We're Alive, saying, "Hey, these are the uncut journals, essentially."
Right.
Like that's how the whole new story started. So it's like, oh, now I'm missing that.
Right.
Did
you guys like the way Joe's story ended? How he got defeated?
By him drowning?
Yeah, because he is the
main villain.
Main zombie villain.
Yeah.
Because Pierce is the main villain. Well, he turned to zombie, but you know, being human, he's still the main villain. It's not even
that main
antagonist for sure. But the main zombie villain from the get, it's, you know, and when he turned, it's Joe. Did you guys like how he ended?
No,
because we were hoping for something different. Because we were hoping.
I was hoping for a more traumatizing battle with him.
Yeah.
I do like.
That involved fireworks.
Yeah.
Well, so you know what? No, actually, the more I think about it, I do think I liked how it ended because we almost lost the main character.
With Frankie.
That part was good.
That part was great for sure.
Yeah, and that is probably like one of the most memorable moments for this whole.
Absolutely.
Part. So you know what? No, I'll take it back. I think I do like how his ended.
Yeah.
Because it gave us the drama we wanted. It's all the impact and seriousness. The only difference is we were hoping that, like, a lot of the time we were hoping that he was going to end up, like, defending the guys and stuff like that, which I'm happy it didn't go that way. I think I would have felt more robbed if he would have completely turned and been a good guy in the end.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, and I think we already had enough main villain killing one of the main characters. You know,
Right.
like Ink and Saul,
But
Lisa,
I like that it still
Lisa
hinted
and
at that.
yeah. So it's I'm okay. I'm okay that he didn't kill him, or none of the main characters died from that fight.
It was a real good like twisting the knife.
Yeah.
Like, what way is it gonna go?
Yeah.
Like, because right now I can completely rob all your hopes and dreams by taking out this kid, but I
Right.
could also have a huge redemption story, that thing we never got from
Yeah.
Saul.
You know, I should have figured out that Frankie didn't die, because the way he was writing it, like, "Mom, I died today," and he was uttering it. Like, why would I think he died if he's like writing it down that I
It's one of
drowned?
those things. He could not have been writing. He could have been in his mind, like, trying to write his last letter.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went, is that he's like,
Imagining.
it's like he never, in my mind, he never actually wrote that.
Oh, it's like
It
it's
was
like
him in the water,
Yes,
like, between, like,
yes.
consciousness.
Yeah, like while he's falling, you know, that movie trope, and you can see, like,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
hear
that's how
their
I pictured
thoughts.
it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And he's like, "Well, Mom, I died today."
Yeah. My last thing, and please explain this to me, because I'm trying to wrap my head around this, and I'll try to understand it, but I could not. Please, if I'm wrong, and Casey, if you're listening to this, please explain it.
You're wrong.
Because I
was just
do
gonna say you're
not,
wrong.
right? I do not understand Carmen's vision in relation to Blaine and the whole thing. Like, I try to understand, like, Blaine being on top of the mountain yelling at them, and then Carmen in the water, and then they're waving. Like, I couldn't understand that whole thing. Who's that? Frankie's dream?
Yeah, Frankie's dream.
Yeah, I couldn't understand. I couldn't connect Frankie's dream to what happened to Blaine and what happened to them. It's like, I feel like it was left to me. It's like, oh, it's just there, and then that's it. It was never explained after that.
Well, I
I
knew what
would
it
like
meant
a
when she
little
was.
bit more insight on it.
Yeah.
Cause I've got thoughts on it, but I feel like they're all very wrong.
Yeah.
Like my thoughts with it, they go like, Carmen's in the water because she died. Like, she's gone.
Yeah.
And she's swimming
so
away, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like a lot of people will, like, in like mythology and stuff like that, they'll talk about the waves taking people.
Yeah.
North.
Into the
No, Norse
and
mythology,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they
And
light him on
so-
fire or something like that. Yeah.
And so then you go into him on the mountain. He was watching everything happen, unable to reach who he's trying to reach and protect.
Yeah.
So like, he's at the farthest point he can be from Carmen, couldn't save her, but now he has a new view to, like, save the others, kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like again, like, I feel like I'm very off, but that's the direction that my mind kind of works towards
Right.
it.
Well, because all I can think of is, like, Blaine, especially like what happened in the last part. He's telling them, just go, just leave me, just go. Like, that's what he's
Yeah.
saying, and Frankie couldn't hear it. Like, that's the only explanation that I have in my head. But it's still, I feel like what you said, I feel like it's still wrong. Like, I don't know. Like,
Like, it
I
was-
need more information. Like, why is that mentioned? Like, why is that dream mentioned, and it wasn't clarified throughout the end of the series?
Or even just clearly stated.
Yeah.
Probably was just more of an oracle, like, or
For it to at
premonition.
least get brought up one more time. Because even if it's not completely explained, it's like, if you nudge it one more time later, at least
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
might get some of that
Right.
internal closure.
Yeah, or like Frankie said, "Oh yeah, I remember this. This is like in my dream, or like a deja vu, like from my dreams." I feel like I've seen this before, kind of situation. you
Yeah.
know? But
even
we didn't get that.
even like, why does this seem familiar?
Yeah,
That, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, shoot,
Yeah.
this is that moment.
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah,
even if it's not the exact same moment, you're just like, oh, this is like that.
yeah, and that's it. That's the only problems that I could think of in that whole series. But the rest is just great. Like, I love. Like I said, it was really close to Descendants, like super close to Descendants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
love it.
I love because it's like, oh, the two most recent in our minds are holding up so well against each
Right.
other.
Yeah. I just enjoyed the kids. Well, that sounded really bad. I just
Rewind.
Really, I just really enjoyed that it's the kids. You know, the characters are kids.
Yeah.
In a zombie apocalypse.
And
I
they
love that.
survived.
And they
It took it
survived.
to a whole
Exactly.
new level.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you guys have anything else? Anything else that you want to add? I love this. I love hanging out with you.
What
guys
other
and talking about
theories have been presented on Facebook and stuff like that?
So a lot of them is what happened to the kids,
Okay.
and it's basically what we talked about. That's the only assumption that they have, with Blaine and Zach being the leader of the tribe.
Okay.
Some of them actually mentioned that it's Buffalo Bill. Blaine was Buffalo Bill. What else?
How I feel about the whole Blaine being Buffalo.
Yeah.
thing.
That was one of them. And then I think that's about it. There's not really a lot of people who talk. The yacht being in We're Alive, that keeps get brought up every
Keeps
time
getting
someone
recycled.
Yeah, no. Every time someone will join We're Alive Facebook page, that's one of the first thing they post. Hey, just a thought, okay? Just a really thought. What if that yacht is the same yacht? It's like, bro, yeah, we answered that already. Like,
They should,
Sorry,
whoever
sorry,
whoever owns
yacht
that
has
Facebook
nothing to do
page,
with this
they just
one
need to
at
pin
all.
that response to the
yeah,
top.
it's the same yacht. That's the only thing that would say. It's
Before
the same
you
yacht.
ask.
Yeah.
It's the same yacht.
Yeah, like no context at all. It's like, wait, what do you mean?
Rule
Yes,
number one
it
to
is
join
the
this group:
yacht.
listen to all episodes.
Yeah.
Rule number two: it's the same yacht.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, and then rule number 3: no spoilers. Like that, no spoilers is like rule number above.
It's underneath.
Above it's the same yacht because I see it all the time. It's like and the way they say it too. And I'm not trash talking. Okay, I get it. You guys haven't been part of the group. I get it. But it's like the full
And some
confidence.
people
It's like
don't
they just
see the out of
Yeah.
podcast
Yes.
answers and
yeah.
statements and stuff.
And the way they post it, it's like, dude, I found something that a lot of people have found yet. But what if?
Well,
You know?
that's the thing is every single one of us had that same
Oh, yeah, I
reaction.
know.
Every person
as
who's
soon as
already
we heard about the yacht, the parents' yacht, like,
Everyone's just like,
ooh,
oh.
yeah,
maybe,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
7 episodes later.
yeah. And then that's it. There's not really a lot of assumption that they have. The big one is that keeps bringing up besides the yacht is the Zach being part of the tribe or the Texas area Republic. Yeah,
Oh, that's the other
Fighter
faction we
Republic.
haven't
Yep.
seen yet or heard.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I'm so excited for next season to be able to learn more about.
Yes.
I would
What-
love to learn more about the Republic and a little bit more about like the red zones and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What
And the
skill
family.
sets do
Was
you
it-
think that they will pick up? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
The kids.
Yeah, what skill sets do you think they will pick up?
The kids or the kids and descendants?
No, the 3 that we're talking about right now.
Like what
Oh.
kind of skills we talking about?
Like, I mean, this is going 18 years now. I can picture.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I can, if they do return, I can picture Ruby as still being a healer
Mm-hmm.
because that's what she's been doing, helping with the team.
Yeah.
And if Zach
Then
is,
their medic.
yeah, like she's our new hope,
Yeah. He's the new. Yeah, he's
the
new
replacement of hope.
hope.
Still,
Yeah.
still a little hurt by that.
Yeah, for
Hope
real.
was awesome.
So another theory that I saw was Zach is the kid who helped Dot in Prim, the one that's a druggie.
Oh, shoot,
Alvin?
No, it's the
no.
boy's little lackey.
Yeah,
Well, assistant, the
it's
maintenance.
basically the whole maintenance of Prim.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, that he is that was
I
Zach.
feel like he's too young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's way too young.
Zach is too old, and that character is too young. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
there's no way.
he was like a baby when because he's pre-infection,
Mm-hmm.
but he was like a baby
Yeah.
or something like that.
Both
during-
both him and Dot.
So he's probably like low 20s.
Right. Like just a little older than Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's
he's
about
probably
it.
like 22,
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
and Nick's 18.
You know what would be really cool is to have a one-shot episode where they go back and dive into what happened to Dot.
Yes. I'm okay
waiting
with that
for
spin-off.
her story to come out.
Yeah, I'm okay with that spin-off.
I
Yeah.
am going nuts.
And it could be just one of those
Yeah,
one episode
One
things.
episode,
Yeah.
in Descendants.
Where
story
it
of
just
that.
goes back and totally explains, and you actually have an episode where it's
Yeah, dude,
Dot talks normal and she says more than Dot.
all I can imagine.
I'm waiting for the day she just comes out with like a massive dialogue. And
Right.
just, like,
No, what I can imagine is this. This is what's happening, right? This is how I imagine this episode. Alex is asking that, so what really happened to you? And that's like, Dot. And then, you know, in that movie trope, when they start talking and then it's transitioning while they're talking.
To the backstory.
And then all you can hear is dot, 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 dot. And then the whole storyline is happening.
It slowly, well, like, and then like the
Fading.
words slowly start fading in
And
as
it's just all
normal
dot,
words.
dot. Oh, yeah. Dot, dot.
I can picture that.
Shell
If it was
dot,
an actual video, yeah, I can see that.
Oh, if it was video, yeah.
Dot, 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 dot,
She's
dot.
picturing
Mom,
the whole
where
event.
Are you know?
That's funny.
And then she's and then she's talking in the background in the middle of every conversation. Dot, dot, dot. And then Alice like, oh, is that what happened? Like,
You were how old?
yeah, I know.
Dot.
That's how I can do it. Yeah, but that's a good idea. Just one episode in Descendants was just Dot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Imagine getting paid, like I Am Groot, getting paid just to say Dot in different inflections. Dot.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
it's weirdly impressive how much emotion and stuff you get from
Just from
the
that.
singular word.
What's
Right.
cool is when you listen to it and in your mind you hear a phrase.
Understand.
And then it's confirmed that phrase is what she was saying,
Yeah.
and you're like, I can understand Dot.
I know that language.
I speak Dot.
It's the new language.
Yeah, Alex is just so smart because he caught up right away. Like, how, bro? What?
Yeah.
It's called love.
Dude, he was like mad when he was catching on.
yeah,
He's like, can't you just say it normally? I know.
yeah. It's called love, Alex. That's why it's called love.
It's still cool how she has said like what 2 or 3 words other than that. She
Yeah,
said
yeah,
his
yeah.
name.
Yeah,
She said I can't remember what she said a couple other things.
yeah. She did. All right. Well, this was great. This was awesome. How'd you guys feel about it?
It was nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I can't wait.
missed this.
Yeah, I know, me too. Can't wait for Descendants.
I know.
Descendants is gonna be awesome. I can't wait to find out what's the connection with. I guess we wouldn't know anymore because Buffalo Bill turned to Cole's guys. So I don't think Buffalo Bill is Buffalo Bill.
Both of
anymore.
them, didn't they? They
Yep,
both
him,
turned.
yeah. Him and
And Fredo.
Fredo, yeah. What I was gonna say is because Buffalo Bill was trying to talk to Nick. Like, what's up with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like that whole thing.
I mean, Casey verified that it's not a language that we'll understand.
Yep. But regardless, he still tried to talk to Nick.
Yeah.
And
I'd say
Nick was-
understanding or not
Yeah.
doesn't change like the interest.
Yeah,
into
and the
it.
way and by the sound of it, I feel like Nick kind of understood him. It's like, wait, what? Huh?
Maybe
yeah,
maybe
like
it's like
he-
Harry
He
Potter.
sounded like he
Yeah.
actually tried to
Nagini?
reply.
Yeah.
Like what?
Until Nagini, the snake,
Yeah.
when the snake
yeah.
started talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he speaks Slither tongue, is that what it's called?
Yeah, because it started in
Fossil
the
tongue.
it started
Yeah.
in the zoo.
I'm not a Harry Potter fan. So.
Yeah, it started in the zoo when he started talking to the snake, and he thought it's a normal thing, like all wizards can talk to to snakes.
Yeah.
Come to
And
find out,
everyone's
no,
like, nah,
no,
bruh.
yeah, you're evil.
Well, that's because snakes are evil.
It's true. All right, well, background music. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us and listening to this. Please like and share this, and we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Yep.
Bye.
Whenever that is, we'll have one. We'll make one. We'll make something up.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about something.
Figure it out.